Now we're going to get right over to News 6 morning anchor Justin Warmoth with the Weekly.
This is the Weekly on ClickOrlando.com with Justin Warmoth.
Good morning, I'm Justin Warmoth. One of the biggest topics over the last few weeks, the reopening of schools. The White House has been clear with its message, saying schools should be open 5 days a week, with kids and teachers back in the classroom. But districts all over the nation are taking a more cautious approach. This morning, Florida Education Association President Fedrick Ingram is here to explain what he's pushing districts to do next month. What are you advising districts to do?
To move cautiously, to keep moving, but move very, very cautiously. We've got to keep our eyes on this virus. That is the end of the road for us. How we get our cases down, our positivity cases down, how we get the positivity rate down, ensuring that we have ICU beds for folks and that we're doing what we can as a community to keep each other safe. That is going to be how we open schools. If we can get this positivity rate down, if we can get our case number down, then our schools will be more ready and more prepared. On the school front, we need to understand that our schools need money, that we need to fortify our schools with all the health and safety regulations from the CDC, from public health officials, and how we social distance, and hand washing stations. And so it's going to cost us in our new normal, which is going to be very new, it's going to cost us more money than less.
Mm-hmm. Teachers seem overwhelmingly against 5 days a week, back to normal school sessions. Is that what you're seeing as well?
Well, first of all, teachers are overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed because we have a lack of a cohesive strategic plan to get our schools open. And so in a time where teachers are normally giddy and have the zeal and are using their own monies to go and to stores, to buy different things, theming out their classrooms, getting ready to prepare, there is an uncertainty that is a life or death situation for many of our teachers. We have teachers who are over the age of 60. We have teachers that have comorbidities. We have teachers that are frankly healthy, but they take care of an elderly parent or they take care of a sick child at home. And so there's so many unanswered questions that give us pause, give us angst. And frankly, some teachers are angry simply because we've had the time since March 13th to actually do a plan and get a plan together. And now we're frantically trying to get things together. And unfortunately, teachers are hanging in the balance.
Right. Do you think that a lot of the school districts in Central Florida, and I think this is just around the country, are trying to do the two-pronged, maybe three-pronged approach that is a few people can go in to school like physically, and then you have the option to do virtual or maybe a combo. Is that how we got to take this, like a case-by-case basis?
Teachers should only go into schools if they're safe. If we can ensure that we have a positivity rate in a particular community that is going down. If we continue to see this escalation of the diagnosis of positive rates, no one should be going into a school. But let me also preface this by saying this. Teachers, more than anybody in this country, want to be in front of their kids. We want to go back to school. This organization, the Florida Education Association, wants teachers to be in school, but we must do it safely and we must proceed with caution. And so I simply say that we need to put our heads together, but we also need to figure out how we're going to pay to keep our folks safe. And this is not paying teachers, this is not paying administrators, this is fortifying our schools. This is ensuring that we can deal with social distancing. And if we can't do that, then we ought to hit the pause button.
Yeah, Education Commissioner Richard Corcoran, some of his comments, he's ordering public schools to be open 5 days a week. Have you been in communication with him and working as best you can to let him know that that's just not something that is doable at this point?
We have not been in communication in any formalized way. What we have done is we've sent letters, we've sent our reopening plan from the Florida Education Association has been done since the end of May. We've asked the department to take a look at that. We've asked the governor to take a look at that. We understand that they have it. They have actually referenced it in an earlier DOE meeting about a month ago. But again, in lieu of a cohesive statewide strategy that includes PPE for teachers if we need masks or face shields or plexiglass, those kinds of regulations that are putting in place, we get a slogan that says we must have brick and mortar options for our parents, which is fine. But behind that slogan must be a strategic plan to keep people healthy. This is life or death. People will die if we don't get this right. And we have 2.8 million children that are depending on us to get this right.
The comments from the president talking about pulling funding if school districts don't reopen, is that a bluff, do you think?
I think it's misguided at best. When you talk about pulling funding, and let me just state clearly that 90% of the funding for our public schools come from our state and local governments. The 10% of funding that the president has referenced will only impact our most vulnerable students. That is our students that come to our schools with challenges and from challenged communities. Those who are in Title I schools, free and reduced lunch, students with disabilities in IDEA. Those are the people that the president has referenced, and shame on him and the federal government for even acknowledging such a threat to our most vulnerable. Our jobs are to take care of these kids. The public schools are the vessels of hope in every community. And when you start to bully your way through lawmaking, that's a short road. And so we are of the people, by the people, and for the people. Those people start with our children. And so, it's irresponsible to send a message like that or a statement like that. And it's actually overstepping the powers of the federal government anyway. So we continue to work.
I know it's difficult in the present day to talk about this and to try to figure out the best course of action. But as we go on, what sort of long-term effects could this have? And with teachers, with public schools in the state of Florida, around the country, as more people look for maybe homeschooling, other options for their kids with this pandemic, do you see that going forward? What long-term ramifications this could have for public schools?
Well, this pandemic is going to cause long-term impacts for every sector of our society, for business, for medical, for schools. And so we don't know what that is, but we can guess, an educated guess, that people are going to have trepidations about going into a school, especially if we still have this virus around until we get a vaccine, until we can actually stop the spread or the threat of community spread, given the circumstances of schools. Our schools were engineered for social interaction, not social distancing. And so they were made for large groups of kids to be in a confined area together, to actually work, to collaborate, to do things together, teamwork. And so we have to kind of rethink and restructure where we're going with our schools. And so, yes, it's going to have an impact, but I still believe that public schools are the best option to create a society that we can all be proud of and that we wish for our children. We must give our children a better tomorrow than we've had yesterday. And so we do that through public schools.
We have to take a short break. We'll have more of my discussion with Florida Education Association President Fedrick Ingram right after this. Stay with us.
This is The Weekly on ClickOrlando.com with Justin Warmoth.
Welcome back. School districts across the country are being forced to reconsider their reopening plans and even reverse course for the upcoming school year as coronavirus infection rates continue to spike. And with classrooms set to open in just a few weeks, districts are struggling to put together a plan for how to bring kids back safely. Florida Education Association President Fedrick Ingram is back now as we continue our discussion on the options moving forward.
You mentioned that you guys had your plan for reopening in May completed. What's in that plan? Is it similar to what we're seeing districts implement?
It's very similar. We've had hybrid models of education between virtual education and distance learning. We have asked for staggered school times so that children can come to school at different times of the week. We have actually asked for a later start date if the case rate is still up. So if we still have this case rate in the next 2 to 3 weeks, then we need to push the date back. And of course, the executive order says that all schools must start in August. Well, that might not be practical given the circumstances of what we have around. And so we asked for that 2 months ago. And now we're still, and also dealing with the infrastructure of our schools. And let me just talk to you a little bit about the infrastructure. Dealing with the ventilation systems in our schools is going to be very difficult for us. We have mold in some of our schools. We have antiquated or dilapidated air conditioning units that are in constant need of repair. that are going to need industrial filters in a way that we haven't needed them before. And so we have to figure out how we do specific classes like band and chorus and speech and debate, those things that will have students expel droplets and get into the aerosol atmosphere. And so we have to really concentrate and focus and get granular because school starts in a few weeks. Our teachers report in just a few weeks. That is scary at best.
Mm-hmm. The masks, a lot of folks have said, hey, just have everyone wear masks. But we can't, as a society, all wear masks, and those are adults. So to get a kid to wear a mask for 7 hours a day just doesn't seem like it's that feasible, that realistic. Do you think that's a fair thing to say, hey, if everyone wears masks and we socially distance ourselves, then we can open schools safely? Is that fair?
No, I don't think that's fair. But what we're going to have to do is do some teamwork in education. Teachers cannot be on the hook for just telling students to wear a mask. This has to start at home. It has to be in our community. We have to have this fully accepted by our lawmakers. If our public health officials are telling us that this is the one thing that we can control that will significantly bring down the threat of community spread, then we have to do that. But that takes an education in itself, and teachers cannot be the sole burdeners to educating our kids to put on a mask, to ensure that we're policing masks. This has to be a community-wide, statewide, nationwide plan and structure in place so that we can kind of move forward together.
Do you think teachers learned quite a bit during the end of last year when it comes to virtual learning and picking up different tips and ways to make it more efficient for them and for parents and for kids?
Sure. When we closed schools on March 13th, that wasn't virtual school in the sense that we would know it. That was pandemic pedagogy. We were in crisis management. There were teachers who were thrust into a virtual school mode that had never done virtual school before. There were students in the same situation. There were still students and teachers who simply didn't have connectivity or the hardware or the software to actually get this going in the way that we knew it. So I think we've learned some lessons. The key thing that we've learned is that virtual school will never take the place of a student and a teacher in a classroom where the magic happens, where relationships happen, where it's the you and me, and the kid learns that you care about them before they care about what you know. And so these are the things that we've learned moving forward. And so I understand the push to get schools open, but I also understand the consternation in going back to school, given what we have in our communities with this virus, and we do not have this under control. The state of Florida is the epicenter. We're in the vortex of this virus, and the world is watching us. And how we do this and what happens with our schools, we should not be the petri dish for the nation. Let's not put our kids in the middle of an experiment.
Obviously, teachers have to be in there if that's the case. And how will this decision be made, do you think, for teachers and figuring out who needs, because some teachers are in unique circumstances, whether they're older, whether they have conditions that this virus, obviously, as we learn more about it, it affects that certain age group or people with pre-existing conditions. Is that something that's being figured out? Because some teachers just simply will not go into the classrooms when it comes to the virus, and especially in a spread like we're having in the state of Florida.
Right. The conversation that we're having is about reasonable accommodations and what that looks like. And so it's playing itself out differently as we go around the state. What we don't have answers to is what happens if a teacher contracts coronavirus? Do they take their days, sick days? Do they run the risk of losing their job because they're out 14 days quarantining? What happens with a substitute teacher? Do we ask a substitute teacher to go into a classroom where a teacher was just diagnosed and cover that class? Is that safe? Do we quarantine the whole class? Do we quarantine a wing of the building or an entire school because a few kids have had an outbreak in a class? Those are the things that we have to really get granular about and start to focus on, because this has impacts on people's lives. People can't pay bills. People can't take care of themselves. And not to mention the healthcare costs are skyrocketing around us. And our teachers, not only our teachers, our cafeteria workers, our secretaries, our bus drivers, they cannot afford to go back and forth into the hospital. And so we can't do what we've done as a state and close our state, reopen our state too fast, and allow this to be a reckless opportunity for this virus to spread. We have got to get this right.
Yeah, we have gym classes. We have, as you mentioned, chorus, band, team sports as well in high school. It just, it's tough time for parents right now and kids as well who are excited to go back and see their friends. They haven't seen their friends since March, as you mentioned. It's a tough situation. If you had a message for parents and kids through this tough time, and teachers as well, and staff, the whole public school system, what would you tell them?
Wherever your kids are academically, do the best that you can. Put them in the safest environment that you can. Make them healthy, make them well, keep them strong. When we get those kids back in our schools, have every confidence that our teachers will create the magic that we always do. We know how to teach. We know how to educate. That's what we do. We pledge our lives to do that. We simply want to do it safe. We want to be back with your kids, and we will. This new normal is going to be very different, and it's not going to look like our past. But rest assured that we have the best teachers in America right here in the state of Florida, and they will do their jobs. We don't want to do it under duress. We don't want to put our own lives at risk every day, and we don't want to put your children's lives every day. But we will get them where they need to be academically, because we always do. Have every confidence in our public schools, because they're the best that we have.
And we have a detailed list on what districts in Central Florida are offering for the start of the school year. Just head to clickorlando.com/back to school for those details. I'm Justin Warmoth. Hope you have a great Sunday.